Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos, doggone it. My name is John Boy. It's John Boy time. My name is John Fahey. I'm your host. I'm the COVID kid. I'm a COVID cutie. Okay? Let's get that straight. Joining me as ever, the prettiest boy under the sun, a man I'll love till the day I die, Aaron Joseph Peter. Hi.
Hey, I hope we never find out if that's true.
I know.
You know?
I don't want any of us to die. Don't fuck us anywhere. To his right, my left, handsome Matt Brousseau.
Hi, how are you?
They call him Broadcast Brousseau, notorious Frenchman.
That's right.
Huh.
Today I'm playing the part of father in town with oil derricks. This is my Texas look. Texas
In
dad.
town.
Yeah.
That you mean like the town has oil derricks.
Yeah, it's an
and
oil
you're
town.
a father who's
Yeah.
in that town.
Young father, yeah.
Now, are you the father of a young deaf boy, or do you drink people's milkshake?
That's a good question. No, neither.
Yeah,
I just got a fucking hot lesbian haircut.
Yeah,
dude,
it
it's
looks
so
great.
fucking nice.
So nice, dude. If you want to see all this bullshit we're talking about, subscribe on the YouTube.
It's really the place to be.
It's a place to be. You get to see Aaron Joseph Peter every fucking day.
Yeah. Well, you know,
He's there all
ridiculous
24/7.
conspiracy theories.
Every now and then someone who might be a Nazi comments. It's crazy.
Oh,
It
really?
is.
Yeah.
What do they say?
I think his avatar. I'm not going to list it. I'm
Yeah.
not even,
Fuck him. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get it. You don't want to give them a
Basically just
platform.
tried, he said, "Oh, there Nazis really? Prove there's Nazis happening right now." And then I just listened a bunch, and then he was like, "You called me a Nazi?" And then someone else went after him. So
Cool.
yeah, the internet's pretty cool.
You call me a Nazi?
No, I just listed a bunch of organizations that are Nazis. Are you part of them?
Yeah. People don't even know they're Nazis anymore. It's crazy.
It's really weird.
They can't-
Nazi, me? Twitter, PP Podcast, Instagram, Profiles in Eccentricity. Do it. Join it. Be part of the discussion. I'm going to do one today, fellas.
Fellas, I'm ready.
Phyllis.
That was asked for many times.
Many times.
And it's kind of gross. I'm giving you a heads up right now.
Oh boy.
Matt, I'm looking at you. Just be ready. You know?
You said that you gave me just a tiny heads up that this was a nasty one.
Yeah.
And I got the nipple clamps on.
Yeah, good.
you?
Listener, beware.
Coco beware.
There's some coprophagia.
I'm a coprophagia.
Yeah, and now, Matt, I'm sure you think that's a quaint village in Italy. It's not. It's poopy.
Where are you from? I'm from a coprophagia.
You know like you eat? I want to start with
Manja.
You want a shirt?
an account from Fat Mike of NoFX, punk band. He talks about being at possibly the worst performance ever by GG Allin.
Oh.
Knew it.
Apparently, GG prepared by drinking whiskey and taking X-Lax the entire day. The band started playing, and as soon as GG took the stage, he took this shit that came out like water and it hit the floor and pulled out in a circle. He got down on his knees, sucked it up, and spit it into the crowd.
This is a strong start. Strong start, John.
I was behind Jello Biafra, singer of the Dead Kennedys.
Yes.
So I grabbed onto him and used him as a human shield to guard myself from this. I would say at least half of the crowd left right then. 10 people threw up and went into the other room. Now GG and his band were playing and everyone was at least 10 feet back. That was the first song. Now there was
Song?
song.
Yeah.
Your opening band will be the closing band.
I don't think you ever had this guy as an opener. Now there was more room, so he threw a bunch of glass on the floor and began to roll in it. He grabbed this blonde girl from the audience and was just on top of her. She was just screaming. It wasn't fun, it wasn't consensual, but nobody wanted to touch him.
Oh, God.
Eventually, people were trying to pull him off her, but, there was blood, shit, and glass everywhere. So they finally got him off, and then he went around with the audience and started hitting people with the base of the mic stand.
Oh, that's a heavy part of the mic.
Yes, it is. Then a girl who was into it came on stage, and he just kicked her in the fucking face right in the jaw. She went home with him that night after he went to the hospital. One of his knees.
He went to the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
He went to the hospital. Yeah.
They let him out?
One of his knees that night was so cut that every time he took a step, blood would continually squirt out. It was absolutely terrifying.
Oh boy. Remember the quaint days where it's just the history of musicians drinking piss?
That happens too.
And then a Holocaust fighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, GG Allin was this total maniac that, here's the thing is that, like, as punk can be, you still have to be part of a networking, a community. And GG was just separate from that, man. It was just like, it's not going to go down. And like, it was a thing where like people were really psyched to go to the show. And by the end, they absolutely hate him.
Yeah.
Which I guess right?
Going into it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I'm sure back then there's this like word of mouth. You're excited to go because you're like, man, what's he going to do?
What am I going to see?
And then he takes a shit on stage and you go, this is exactly what they said would happen.
Yeah.
And I don't like
I'm mad at myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, his I don't know if his name is not GG Allin, right?
No, it's not. Do you know his name?
I think it's Jesus Christ.
It is. And his older brother Merle, that was the bass player in the band, couldn't say Jesus as a toddler. He would go GG.
GG.
So that's where GG came from.
No shit.
Yeah, and he was born in fucking New Hampshire. And he was like, his dad was a psycho. And this is probably where he got all the mental illness from.
Live pee or die.
Merle is right there with him. And he's kind of he's the guy like getting the money for the performance, like, and Merle is with it. He has a Hitler mustache, sure, but he's he's a sensible person, and
Michael Jordan had one.
He's
too.
down for this sort of thing, but also like so many of these guys, he came from like the strictest fucking Christian upbringing. Nobody allowed out after dark. No television.
They named their kid Jesus Christ.
He was So there's Merle Senior.
Isn't that some sort of like blasphemy or some shit? I don't know.
No, lots of Mexican people are named Jesus. Muhammad is the most popular name in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sure. That's true.
It's an homage, I suppose.
Yeah. But he was
the original shit eater.
He was his father thought was like, I have this vision that this child is going to do amazing things.
Yeah,
he's not wrong.
Especially with the mental illness and all the drugs and everything, you wonder if there's a part of you that believes that's true. And then he kind of leaned into this, like, I'm here to die for rock and roll kind of fantasy.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it starts out very simple. It's just like, he grows up. She is, the father Merle tells her, the mom at one time, like, I'm going to kill you and the kids, and then he like actually digs graves for them and starts threatening them.
Jesus
and
Christ.
Just being like, that's your grave. That's like where I'm going to kill you and stuff.
Fuck.
And so then she bails out.
Yeah.
And she changes his name to Kevin Michael in another town in Vermont, and before even that happens, one of the things they were allowed was the radio. So he got into music. And, as soon as it's like glam, he's all about that, right? His first band covering like Kiss and Aerosmith and stuff like that. And then it's, you're getting some T-Rex on the radio and shit like that. And his early stuff is like really catchy poppy shit.
Yeah, I heard a cover he did of Carmelita.
Yes.
It's really good.
Yeah. I didn't know he did that until today. The early stuff was compiled, and a lot of it is on And now, Matt, I know you're not gonna like it, but this is what it's called: Freaks, Faggots, Drunks, and Junkies.
That's what it's called.
And so they put together all that shit, all the old stuff there, and that's but one of the first bands he's in is called the Jabbers, right?
Jabbers.
And
Jab.
it's like this. Oh shit.
You gotta take the case off.
You gotta dangle it, bro, on the dongle.
Oh, Carmelita, is that a Zevon song?
Yeah, actually, Zevon didn't write it either. Zevon's covering whoever else, and I think he actually changed maybe a lyric or two in it.
Yeah.
But I first heard it through Warren Zevon.
Me too.
Like from you.
I heard a Zevon song today called "My Shit's Fucked Up," so it's all coming together.
Oh man, you know who shit's fucked up? Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, to quote Mike Tyson, if I can't fuck, shit. If I can't shit,
Fuck. Yeah. So this was actually given to me by my friend Jesse, and I had no idea this was even that GG Allin was capable of this, but this is the early stuff.
Yeah. What's this sound like? Jesus.
Kind of Buzzcocksy or something.
Yeah.
how old is he here? 18?
Young, yeah. And they're going to Boston and stuff. That's like where the main shows are happening and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Makes sense.
And so it's, it's just like, it's all chill like that. And it's nothing like it's gonna be, right? And you're just actually kind of, holding a tune and doing some good stuff, right? And, he's a huge weirdo because of this really fucked up traumatic upbringing. And he goes to school and he's getting bullied, and he's he starts going to like high school and cross-dressing and stuff. Like his high school yearbook photo is like, he looks completely just like a woman. And yeah, he's he's in some special ed classes. He had to repeat the third grade when he was younger. And he just, started getting into more stuff like fucking breaking into cars and houses and doing drugs and
This is all in Vermont?
stealing. Yeah. And so, but he's got this thing where he's into like, the British invasion stuff in the early 70s. And then they hear the Ramones and the Stooges. And that's a big fucking deal. Starts a band called Malpractice. That's like his first punk band, and he started playing drums first. And that's actually some of the stuff that I was just playing. It's Malpractice, not the Jabbers. But there's he just starts getting into being the crazy frontman. But don't forget, like, you had Iggy at least. Yeah. So that shit, cutting yourself on stage, that was already kind of going down. And he was the leader of the Cedar Street Sluts, the Scumfucks.
Nice.
And the Texas Nazis.
Nice.
These are
country
all
band?
bands?
These are all bands. And he...
paramilitary group.
So during the Cedar Street Sluts, he started being known as the Madman of Manchester. So this is New Hampshire, my bad.
Okay.
And then they had a cassette release on this label called ROIR, which GG would get on these bigger labels. Like ROIR put out Bad Brain stuff and shit.
The last song didn't sound bad.
It's not. And so then this guy, Michael Board, who wrote for Maximum Rock and Roll, which I also used to write for, Michael's this bisexual guy in New York that is just really into a crazy shit. I remember one time he wrote a column where he was saying that, like, who's more brave than a guy marching in an NAMBLA parade? And I was like,
Fair.
I get your point, but yeah, he's like, I guess
The boy waiting in his car.
he's I guess what would now be called an edgelord or whatever. But he put together this group of people that were like a backing band to back GG, and I had like Jay Mascis from Dinosaur Jr.
Oh, okay.
Like just like a bunch of people that you would be like, oh, and so in like the late 80s, it's like getting more hardcore, and he's like addicted to to drugs and alcohol. He first takes a shit on stage in 85 in Illinois.
After, with all the drugs and alcohol, was the first one an accident? and then it's after that he's like,
right.
hey, this is a hit.
People seem to like
the best discoveries are accidents.
I don't know.
Hey,
No,
Marvin.
it's not. It's not. You know that new smell you've been looking for?
Well, take a whiff of this. Oh, you smell like piss.
New shit. He bought X-Lax. And
The first time.
He went
straight up the first time.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I mean, what drugs is he doing? All of them?
Yeah,
Coke and
they
heroin?
said he would do anything anybody gave him. At first, no, actually, not really. At first, like it was like his brother and the other guys he was in some of the bands with. He wasn't doing shit. And the first time he took acid was they went to Dunkin' Donuts and his brother fucking stuck a tab in his munchkin.
Is that a type of fucking...
The donut holes?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they're called munchkins. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, that's
it's
cute.
cute.
I thought that was an
That's-
amble
So
thing.
he wrecks an apartment.
He stuck it down with acid in his munch.
Wait, so he had an unexpected acid trip and it went really bad. It sounds like.
Yeah, they couldn't control him. He stripped naked. He started hitting himself. He trashed the apartment.
Yeah, that sounds like maybe forever changed.
It might have been, yeah.
Jesus
But although also I think with
GG fucking
schizophrenia, it's like
yeah, right.
it's gonna get unlocked at some stage because he was like married to like his high school sweetheart and stuff for a while.
He was trying to be normal.
Yeah, it was So yeah, he Jesus Christ. He shits on stage and he goes. There's all these old guys in charge of like they're like in like a Mason Hall or something.
No.
And they go insane. And everybody's
You mean insane, like angry, not like
no, yeah, no. People
There
are
was
freaking
so much
out.
acid in his body that when he took a shit, it drove the whole room insane. It was like it's like Joker gas.
And so like when he's doing this shit too, he's also really into Hank Williams. So he does like the odd country record.
Well, right, like the Texas Nazis. That's it was like Bob Willis and the Texas Playboys or the Texas Doughboys.
Yeah, and he would cover like David Allan Coe and stuff like that.
And Carmelita,
Right.
which is kind of this. It's not really country, but it's folky.
I guess it would if he was just played with a guitar
Yeah.
and Hank Williams is saying that's fucking country.
yeah, he was in he was in a band called the AIDS Brigade, and they had an EP that was called "Expose Yourself to Kids."
Yeah. I've heard of that.
So there's a level of infamy here that is like building and building and building.
Yes.
And there's a lot of like, hey, wait, have you heard about this guy? Have you heard about this guy? Have you heard?
So one of the things now this is really fucking crazy. So possibly the way that most of the people would find out about GG Allin is through the documentary called Hated, and that's a fucking tale to tell because it is directed by a then NYU student, Todd Phillips.
Oh. A man who's done some
the
old
Hangover,
school, The
and
Hangover.
the Joker.
Yeah.
He's here for the gangbang.
Yeah. So there was a really cool video store in Manhattan called Kim's Video, and it had like all the weird shit. And Merle would go in there. He was like really into video bootlegs and stuff. And so he got to know Merle in the video store, and then he started talking.
Todd did.
Todd, yeah. And then he started talking to him about doing this documentary. So Todd is going around with GG Allin while like all this shit is happening.
Dude, I've heard so much about Todd that like when he was younger, like everyone knew that he was gonna like be huge, and also that he was like mad ladies man.
Yeah, I could see that. He's here for the gangbang.
Yeah.
So yeah, even crazier than that is this fucking blew my mind. Okay, this is the financing for the movie
For Hated.
GG is talking to John Wayne Gacy in prison.
Of course.
Because they're in, or he's visiting him.
He's writing him letters and then he visits him.
God damn it.
And Todd gets John Wayne Gacy to make a painting of Gigi
And sell it.
and sell it as posters. And he sells it in the back of Maximum Rock and Roll
Jesus.
and Flipside and like all these fanzines. And it's a limited edition. So he goes like, really the executive producer of Hated is fucking John Wayne Gacy.
I mean, that's
Is that blood money?
yeah, like it would.
Come blood.
You don't see that happening with any Scorsese films. This is real. This isn't big box office
Yeah.
Actually,
this is
there is a Scorsese film that does have an incredible story
Yes.
about its funding.
Oh,
yeah.
The
okay.
Wolf of Wall Street
Yeah.
involves
a lot of fake coke.
international fraud in the hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Oh, good. I mean, so yeah, it's like
You're still wanting to do that one.
Yeah,
As a profile.
Yeah, it's a lot. I read the book.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a who's who of Hollywood and international finance. But please, back to the child fucker.
I mean, I'm trying to think of like, is there a more perfect pairing of
No.
of what it took to
It's
make
a
this?
meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's absolutely staggering. When I saw Todd Phillips, I was like, whoa. And then when I had the John Wayne Gacy thing,
Yeah,
I was
Todd
like,
Phillips, GG
hold
Allin.
the fucking phone. What?
John Wayne Gacy walk into a bar.
And so he gets like, in the movie he gets and other NYU students, to be the crew. And some of them leave,
Yeah.
as you can imagine.
And the documentary is is it about just GG Allin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the whole scene around it. He talks to the fans. One of the fans talks about he was also going to see John Wayne Gacy. Another fan corresponding with John Wayne Gacy, who has some of my favorite last words.
Yes, you'll never find them all.
Kiss my ass, you'll never find the rest.
That's what it's.
Absolutely devastating.
Yeah.
Truly horrifying.
Yeah. Whether he's lying or not, either one is horrifying.
Yeah.
One is you never will find the rest, or the other is he doesn't give a shit and he wants you to really.
He just wants you to feel bad.
Yeah.
It's very bratty. I really like it a lot.
It's fun and flirty.
Yeah.
Now, how old is Gigi when they're making this?
Probably about 36.
Oh shit. Okay. So
Yeah.
okay,
And so,
it's established at this point.
Yeah, you don't start eating your shit in your 20s.
The documentary is actually wrapped, and then they're doing promo for the doc. And so Todd Phillips is with him after a show, and can you imagine this? And he's like, he tells Merle, because like fucking Gigi is passed out. I think he just shot heroin. He tells Merle, he's like, we got to talk to the Village Voice tomorrow. He's like, make sure he's there, And he's like, yeah, don't worry. Gigi is dead at that moment, and nobody knows it. And so Todd Phillips calls to be like, hey, let's Village Voice, let's do it. And Merle's like, oh, he's dead. He OD'd. And I read another thing from like a kid that was 13 at the time that knew Merle. And he went to to that show where they played 2 songs. The venue shut off the power, and then they just rioted in the streets because it was just like the worst Alphabet City junkies in Manhattan.
There's no
like,
power. It smells like shit. This party's over, man.
Yeah, he's already got shit all over him. It's a nightmare. And this kid, he was told by Merle, like, he's like, don't worry. He's like, Gigi won't attack you. You're one of the good guys.
Rub yourself in his shit so he can't smell you.
Yeah, so it's kind of camouflage like Predator.
Yeah.
I don't even notice anything.
And he called Merle the next day to be like, hey, thanks for the show. And he was like, oh yeah, Gigi's dead or whatever. It's of course it's never a surprise, but like also I'm sure in the middle of doing this whole thing, which he now knows is going to be, the documentary is going to be kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this just added more to it, right? Going to film festivals and stuff. But
Just taking a shit.
he tells this other kid, this fan, John Wayne Gacy tells this fan, he goes, man, he's like, I like that Gigi, good guy, he's a good guy. He goes, but man, if he isn't the stinkiest piss-covered fucking wino I've ever met in my life.
Oh my God.
And I've met a lot of them.
Can you imagine being like the guy working at the prison? You're like,
Yeah.
oh, somebody wants to see John Wayne Gacy, and it's this guy covered in
Somebody
shit.
who's worse.
I know.
John, you really question the company you keep.
Yeah.
He just shows me like Gacy. You just know. You're like, yeah, it's good, Gacy.
So the movie from Todd Phillips actually opens.
Tell him I'm busy.
It opens with a quote from John Wayne Gacy, and it says, "GG Allin is an entertainer with a message to a sick society. He makes us look at it for what we really are. The human is just another animal who is able to speak out freely, to express himself clearly. Make no mistake about it, behind what he does is a brain." And
Sure. So that also behind John Wayne Gacy was a brain.
yeah.
And underneath John Wayne Gacy's house were some brains.
Yes, it's it is,
And balls.
and shit.
So then he's like doing like he's starting to do like Geraldo and Jerry Springer and
Yeah, I remember seeing GG
some of
Allin
that
on
shit.
stuff.
Yeah, and he says some really fucking wild shit on there, Aaron. I think you'll like some of this
Yeah,
a
say
lot.
it, say it.
Wait, who does? Who?
GG.
This is before he died.
Before, okay.
Not
Yeah.
after. Even though his name was Jesus.
Now, this is the movie had come out before he died, or it was about to?
It was just coming out when he died.
Okay, so it had come out just like briefly.
He's hopping between times.
It was preparing for a theatrical release
Okay.
at the time he died.
So he was doing press right before it came out.
Yeah. And it seems like there's a lot of I guess bipolar there, because there's times when he's very, very polite and put together, and he's still defending his abnormal lifestyle.
Right.
But he could be even shy, Todd said. Like sometimes when he's like in the interviews, he's like, you could tell he was like felt put on the spot. And, it's not the same as being on stage, when you got a turd in your hand.
yeah, you're
know
in
what I
control.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's an act of dominance in the turd.
Yeah, he's he said this in on the Jerry Springer show. He goes, Jerry Springer says, what do you do with your concerts? He goes, I do whatever it takes. Somebody's in my way, I take them out. They're my enemy. I don't look at them. They're not my friends. And he goes, if the audience is up, out there, you're up there. He goes, what do you do on stage? He goes, I might go kick somebody in the head. I might grab a girl and force her to perform oral sex on me.
Oh, God.
I've had sex on stage with men, women, and animals, and everything in between.
Like fungi?
He sounds like one.
Yeah. I think he uses the F-bomb here too. So
No.
I'm not going to say it. How many Christians are in this
I see.
audience? How many of you go to church on Sunday? You're the biggest hypocrites that I've ever seen, because you'll kneel at an altar and you worship a false god. The real God is up here, fat. When they come to my shows, you eat the body of Christ. They're going to eat the body of GG Allin. If you think I'm into this for the money, you're dead wrong, because I'm not doing this for the money.
It's pretty obvious that the shit's smeared.
He also has no money.
Yeah,
I
of
mean,
course.
he's like says he's like, I live like, he's like, everything I have I can fit in a paper bag, but he's like, that means I can go anywhere at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, but without his brother, even with his brother, he still OD'd. Without his brother, he wouldn't even had the chance to be in a place to OD.
Yeah, and he's always calling Todd Phillips collect too while the documentary's going on. And when Todd Phillips first put it to John Wayne Gacy about doing the poster, he called collect. So he's getting these dueling phone calls from these psychos. I mean, can you fucking imagine?
I mean,
this is 1993. This is the first thing he does, and he drops out of college doing it.
I mean, good move.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and he has GG come to NYU and tells them it's like a Henry Rollins thing, and they ate up Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
But then GG comes and he stuffs a banana up his ass, and then he throws it at people.
Well, did he do it before he peeled it or after?
I think he peeled it. And,
Wow, it seems much tougher.
and so he's throwing banana, anus banana at everybody. And dude, the cops come in and they are so mad.
Bananas.
Yeah,
Bananas.
it's my bananas. And he starts basically throwing shit at people. And nobody had any idea what they're in for. And then they had like a little like school trial on expelling Phillips. And they had like students. He was like it was a very interesting time.
It's probably really a lot of fun for the debate team.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
And all the NYU lawyers.
So I'm kind of jumping around here. Sorry about that.
Did
But
Todd Phillips do Road Trip?
he did.
Yeah. Tom Green.
Tom Green.
Tom Green's in Road Trip.
Oh, I forgot that.
That's right. You have to imagine after doing GG Allin and John Wayne Gacy, you can kind of handle any sort of situation.
Tom Green, sure.
Yeah, you're like,
He's
Tom
not
Green,
eating his own shit.
He's a nice guy in comparison.
So he's now with kind of a known thing. He's doing the country stuff. He's doing some spoken word things, believe it or not.
Wait,
GG. And he's talking to John Wayne Gacy, and he visits John Wayne Gacy in prison a number of times.
I guess it'd be spoken turd, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm sorry. It took me a second. Thank you.
So yeah, he's he'll tour, and he's the venues will shut them down for assault, like damage to the venue or the equipment,
Health code violations.
or he'll go to the hospital, or the cops will come. Every show,
Yeah.
like a whole tour of that. Can you imagine? And
Yeah, I guess I can.
God damn it. What a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what...
yeah, but also like if it was coming to town tomorrow, would I go?
Yeah, yeah.
Depends, man.
Depends.
Back then, maybe now, let's say GG Allin's coming to like, you're gonna get stabbed.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, he's gonna stab you too.
No, somebody else.
Is gonna stab him?
No,
stab
you as going to a show.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
there's
mean-
probably shit on the broken bottle.
Yeah. So there's some things where he goes to Todd. Like he could follow rules to some extent, and I guess he knows that Todd is trying to do. Well, first of all, Todd's gonna get him even more famous. And he kind of he thinks he wants to die for rock and roll. He does want to be a legend. And the music's not good, but GG Allin is a rock and roll legend.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it. And, so Todd Phillips would tell him when they're making the documentary, he'd be like, listen, anybody wearing this orange badge, don't fuck with them. They're filming. They're part of the crew. And so he goes, I actually had it on camera where he was going at a guy and the guy did like a quick, like, here's my badge. And he stopped. He had like presence of mind to not like fucking, finger the guy or whatever he was going to do. So
It's exhausting.
Fingering?
No, just thinking about it is exhausting. Like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a chicken today. Like, what?
Yeah.
Just
now, Aaron,
Like someone brought their favorite dog to the show.
fuck a dog. Aaron, this is
Like it's some blind person with a dog.
boy, I can't wait to go to the GG Allin show and smell him take his shit on stage.
You, me,
Isn't that
Rufus?
right, Rufus?
Rufus. Oh God.
Aaron, no, this is just for you, and this is
You want me to cover my ears?
no. This is
I'm wearing headphones.
this is a sexy little time. I'm gonna set up here.
Oh, is it dongle time?
I'm gonna
Dingle dangle.
Hey, GG.
You have a dongle?
so I gotta show
You have
you.
a fuck a
I
bird.
think, and people would fuck him up bad. Like in Texas, one time, 15 people jumped on stage and just kicked the fucking shit out of him and broke his arm.
Yeah, makes sense. Seems like that kind of thing. Win some, you lose some. Shit some, beat up some.
Now I'm gonna show you what's going on here, and you're gonna see that he's completely naked.
Oh, holy
You know,
man.
people
Oh,
are
yeah,
always
how would I
saying,
know?
well, why don't you try to talk him out of it?
Is that
But
Merle?
Merle.
If you know Gigi the way I do, you can't talk
You
Gigi
got it
out of
right.
doing
Can you hold it
anything he
higher
wants to
above
do.
the mic stand? No,
So,
just where you
it doesn't
are.
really
Can
matter
you see
what
that?
anybody
Mhm.
thinks because he doesn't really care what anyone thinks
Is that real hair?
about what he does.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Bottom line is, if he wants to do it, he's going to do it.
You think people are gonna die?
I'm not going to answer that.
Do you think people are gonna die?
I
Todd
don't
Phillips.
answer that.
Merle, I'm not going to answer that. Smart move.
Now this is a classic show.
The Space Chase.
And now tell me what you're seeing.
Guys with mohawks, tattoos, real Mad Max vibes.
Yeah, that's some normies.
Couple of squares. First night of the tour, Space at Chase. Yeah, he's naked on stage. Tiny dongle.
Yeah, he's got the, he's a grower. Maybe not, but just going to the crowd punching.
Kicking stuff.
After every verse, he kicks somebody or punches somebody. Hard to believe drugs involved.
Like this doesn't bother me.
No, exactly.
There's something beautiful about
Yes.
naked performance.
Yeah.
You can also see the crowd. There's some people that are like trying to gauge
Now
when
he
he's
dragged
going
something
to.
up there.
To the person?
That was like a person.
Oh, and put his face in his cock. now I think he's pushing at somebody.
He dragged the person up. Someone, maybe a friend, acquaintance of the person, pushed him off and dragged that person back.
I get like Aleister Crowley vibes from him.
The facial hair.
And the nakedness and the bald head and like the eating of. Is he shitting? He's shitting really fast.
Well, in time with the music too.
Yeah, he's shitting
really
the beat.
X-Lax.
Now I think he's
really gonna shit.
What's he doing there?
He's on all fours.
He's crawling over the shit.
I think you know what he's gonna do here.
Is he licking up the shit?
I'm afraid so.
So it's a question. Do you get in the front so you can see him lick shit, so you can tell people about it, but there's a risk you might get dragged into the shit.
Oh yeah, and then the glass starts.
Yeah, it's like the SeaWorld. It's a splash zone at SeaWorld.
Now he's cut, and now there's shit in his
rubbing
butt.
shit on his face. He's
Now he's
throwing at
throwing it in
people. There's shit all over his face.
Your face is the best, dude.
In most shows, like there's a pit.
And I think
He has
touching his
inverted
pee-pee.
the pit.
Yeah, the pit is him.
Yes.
The abyss stares back.
He's right. I think he rubbed the mic and shit.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's rocking out right in front.
Yeah.
He's playing chicken. He's hopping in front of the train. One guy in the back is just like just
nodding.
The music's all right, I guess.
dig it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a nature documentary. What did Iggy say about this?
What does Werner Herzog have anything to say about this?
Yeah.
I saw him. He was a maelstrom.
A force of nature and opposite of a black hole. Anything that came so close was immediately repelled to the opposite end of the known universe.
Even John Wayne Gacy held up his nose.
Jesus Christ, man. And Gigi said that's exactly it.
You said it, man. So yeah, he's like, and he's just like, attacking women and stuff the whole time.
Is that on YouTube?
Cops, yeah, this whole thing's on YouTube. You can watch Hated on YouTube.
You can watch him eat shit.
I don't know how it's allowed on there, but it is.
Yeah, it's YouTube. The people who watch it aren't complaining, and they know what they get into.
So the cops show up.
And he just puts on clothes and disappears.
My thing is like, who's calling the cops? And also,
him.
what venue? What venue?
Eventually,
What venue in New York does not know about GG Allin?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean,
Don't these people talk?
Probably listen to my closing act. I'm going to need you to call the cops.
Yeah, I think Aaron's right. Yeah, I think that's probably built into it. That's part of the
Unless
act.
somebody, really does.
I mean, well, there's also real ass assault going down.
Yeah.
So
that is true.
it's kind of hard to know.
I mean, you have to wonder how many people in the crowd were like, don't know about the assault,
and
when they're like,
how many people are tourist walk-ins?
yeah, or it'd just be like, oh, GG Allin, I hear it's crazy.
Oh my God! Like, let's go see the GG Allin.
Now, this
show.
is a story here from Michael Board, fellow New
I
Yorker.
remember as soon as he signed the contract with Homestead Records, we had a party for him in a bar on the Bowery, and Kozloy, the head of the record company, was there, and Gigi pissed on him. I thought, oh man,
Gigi pee-peed?
Who?
And how?
Is there anybody in the history of rock and roll who pissed on the president of the company that just signed them? It's genius.
So that's another short documentary that's on called Live Fast Die, which Gigi had tattooed on his chest.
He didn't have that many tattoos, I noticed. I think it's a different time. Today, I feel like if he did that, he'd be like the Illustrated Man.
Yeah, but they're also like really shitty tattoos.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, most people with full body, no offense to people with full body tattoos, but I feel like, not full body, those people with a lot of tattoos have a lot of shitty tattoos.
This guy has just shitty tattoos.
Right.
There's no artistry going down.
No offense to people with tattoos.
No,
I really don't care.
That sounds like it. Now you made a thing out of it, dude.
I know, it's too late now.
You're already here, Matt,
Christ.
judging people with tattoos.
I'm cool with most of them, Anyway, yeah, did he have any other shitty tattoos? Like, what were the other shitty tattoos that...
Well, I don't think he had any actual shit.
He had one that was like a super crudely drawn middle finger that could also, like, if it didn't have the one extra finger, you might think it's a dick and balls.
Oh.
It was that crude.
Right. It's something him and a guy were on heroin. And
yeah, it looks like it's all, maybe some of these were in prison. He was, I'll get to the imprisonment later, but.
Oh, I saw a video today of a girl, it was a porno. like a porno clip on Reddit. Like, check this out. And it was a girl getting it tattooed on her puss, and then also getting fucked in the butt.
Oh my God. No.
Yeah, and it was a staged. I mean, it was like a studio. A studio did this. It wasn't like, check
like
out
Marvel
this.
Studios.
Yeah, it was Marvel Studios Presents. Yeah. It's gonna be on Disney minus
Like Paramount or
Paramore.
HBO Max. And she seemed to be enjoying it.
Of course, why
which
wouldn't
part?
she? The tattoo gun on her clit?
No, it wasn't like on her clit. She was getting some kind of animal face around.
Like above?
Yeah, like so that
cool.
the gaping maw was the mouth.
Yeah,
It seems like that would fuck up the tattoo. Was getting the dick in the ass.
Well, I think she was like mounted, like like how I'm mounted here. She's like stationary, and then the man under her is thrusting.
Yes. Oh, she's fucking the pain away.
These are the teachers of peaches.
And I got the cream.
And no word if she is a father fucker, but I think the gentleman was not related to her.
Oh God.
But I think there's a whole new subgenre of girls getting fucked while getting tattoos.
God, what a nightmare.
This guy's eating shit.
Yeah. I'm not into that either. Hold on.
Yeah.
Listen. Now this is something you are gonna like.
Themselves with him if he wanted. I've had plenty of people say to me, "Well,
Not this part.
I'm going to be standing right in the front row when GG kills himself,
Hey, Puerto
and
Rican
hopefully
flag.
he'll take me with him."
Puerto Rican kid looking angry.
I think that's a pretty hardcore fan right there.
You're gonna hear a story from a fan.
Okay, so last August it was Gigi's birthday and he'd just gotten in town.
Is that Todd?
Hung out with him a little bit, went to
Fan.
the first show in Jersey and said, let's throw a birthday party for Gigi, a cookout at my house. Me and Lenny bought a bunch of meat, a bunch of beer, and we bought Gigi's Jim Beam. Gigi comes over, and before he came, he said, I'm not coming to Brooklyn unless you're going to get a girl to piss or shit in my mouth. I said, okay, just come on over. We'll get somebody. 'Cause
That's
there's all these
easy.
crack whores right around the place where I was living.
Crack whores?
We're figuring, I'll get somebody. Gigi will pay him $50 if he has to. We'll get somebody. Turns out this girl I know who's like an especially frisky type was there, and I turned to her and I said, Jennifer,
Especially.
you want to piss in Wait, whoa. I fucked up. I really shouldn't, say her name. So this girl I know that was there, I said to her, look, would you take a piss in Gigi's mouth? And she goes, yeah. And I said, do you mind if Merle films it? She goes, no, not at all. So I moved him into the bathroom, and Gigi lays down on the floor, and she strips off all her clothes, and she squats. And it's great because she's got a pierced clit and everything, too, so it looked really good. And she just starts
really good.
pissing in mouthfuls, and Gigi's laying there drinking it and like, and then on like the third gulp he got down, this is the best part, he just absolutely upchucked and puked all the barbecued weenies and burgers he'd been eating at the cookout up all over his face, and then took another mouthful of piss, and he's a pretty happy boy after that. I mean, I felt good about him not even having to pay out his money, and I got the girl to piss on him for his birthday.
Hey man, I'm not coming to Brooklyn unless you get a girl to piss or shit in my mouth.
Or shit. Wow. How do you like that, Aaron?
I knew a girl that took a shit on a guy's chest in college.
Yeah?
Yes, because she they were also kind of in the punkish music scene.
Oh, well, don't tag us all with the shit fucking thing.
Hey,
No, but I mean,
Too late.
and I mean, she wasn't, she's not like a fucked up weirdo or anything.
Yeah.
Somebody just dared her, and she's like, yeah, I'll do it. I'll take a shit on this guy. It was the guy was fucked up. He was a maniac. That's what it is. It's always guys who are maniacs, I want somebody to watch somebody shit on. I mean, she's like, yeah, I'll do it. I guess. She took a dump on his chest.
That's great, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
She told you about it?
Everybody
knew?
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
We're all
it spreads.
Went to our wedding.
Oh, you did? Really? Oh, I know her?
No.
Okay. Let's take a quick break.
Yeah.
We'll come right back.
Yeah, I'll tell you all about it.
And we're back. So
I was saying that I question how much he was a happy boy drinking that piss because he puked it all up.
Yeah, but I
think also laying on your back and drinking stuff is kind of hard.
Yeah.
Especially if you got a belly full of barbecued weenies.
Yeah, I'm sure that also he was puking all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm sick.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wonder really what did make him happy. I guess probably
Nothing.
other people.
Dying.
It was probably other people like going crazy at him being a maniac. I'm guessing.
No, he said he was always having fun, and people around him said he was really into always having fun.
But his idea of fun was very subjective.
Well, his drummer that was always naked, that was frequently arrested for exposure.
Not ideal.
He was like, oh, Gigi was doing this to show the sickness of society, and that showing us like the way we're violent, towards each other. And he was like, it was actually like he had this whole thing where he's like, he thought the whole thing was like a commentary on kindness and the lack of it.
Okay, I mean, I like that.
Sure.
I like the idea.
You can
of
say
it.
that about anything. Like,
Yeah, but
I mean, I guess, but
was that the original?
it's like,
thought?
Hitler did the Holocaust to show, like, look how sick we are because nobody's stopping me.
right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Convenient.
No, yeah, totally. I agree.
Did they think of that before he started eating shit or after he started eating shit? Well, now that he's eating shit,
I'm eating
I
shit.
think-
Look at you. You love it.
I'm fooling you. And you
Well,
don't
no,
like it.
and there is things too, where like I mean, first of all, he's talking to John Wayne Gacy, and that fan that told that piss story later in the doc, he says, he goes, I got a good idea of what they were talking about. He's like, I don't have firsthand knowledge or anything, but he's like, I bet they were talking about tying up young girls. Gigi's girlfriend when he died was like 17. Yeah.
That's bad. That's bad.
Yeah. Are you
The
sure?
sickness of society.
Yeah.
I'm showing the sickness
Yeah,
of
look, I'm a
society.
36-year-old man. I'm eating shit and fucking teenagers.
Yeah, I'm not
and
sa-
you love it.
Listen, I'm not saying the guy.
I don't like it at all.
I'm not saying the
totally
guy
hate
is
this.
right at all, but I'm saying here's this naked weirdo that plays drums for him, and this is what his interpretation of it is.
I mean, it sounds like water carrying. I mean,
Carry the water.
not necessarily 100%, but it sounds like, well, hey, we're not all fucking teenagers.
Well, I
You know,
think
it's just
there's
the
there's
master.
something to be said for people that get raised in very religious households like Wes Craven, where he comes out and he hasn't seen a movie until he's 18 years old, and then he gets exposed to everything, and he realizes all these fucking Christians that raised him are fucking hypocrites, and Vietnam's going on.
Sure,
and he's going like, then he makes Last House on the Left. There's always like a violent outburst,
Pants ram.
from these people that get raised in this way,
Right.
And they do feel like nobody's living up to their word, and so I don't think.
And they always have a,
Listen,
I mean, it always happens this way, but when it does, seems to be a pattern, or you're at least not shocked about it because it makes sense, because that's what you might do if you can break out of that brainwashing, right?
Sure.
And then you also have a unique perspective because in the same way that you're brainwashed by your family in this cult or religion, you're also not indoctrinated by society.
Yeah.
And so you come at it with this whole other way of looking at it that's so new and shocking to everybody else who is a part of society. That's
Well, and also don't forget, he's raised in a straight up hostage situation. Mm-hmm. That's like the beginning.
And that's that's the norm. He's probably more than any other time he's used to hostage situations.
my cradle was a grave.
Yes.
Yeah. I was named Jesus Christ. Like, this guy told me he was going to kill me.
I saw the grave.
I saw the grave. Like, what I mean?
I don't celebrate Halloween.
In old school, my mom said she was going to kill me. She showed me the knife.
Yeah.
Todd Phillips probably got that from Gigi.
You're absolutely right.
Wow. Good call, Aaron.
And it's funny then. But
So yeah, he it's fucking up the venues. The shows get shut down. Hospital blood poisoning. A lot of blood poisoning.
yeah,
Because of
with
shit
what?
in his cuts.
Of course, man.
Weird. He probably shit
damn
into
it.
the
Broken
he probably bled
bones.
into the shit.
And then prison. So you heard there too. His brother talking about the fans saying, I'm going to be front and center when Gigi kills himself. Gigi would say year after year on Halloween he was going to kill himself. It would just so happen that every time Halloween came around he was in prison. Right?
Like prison or jail?
Jail and prison. He did serve 2 years. Here's one that's in late '89 he was arrested and charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm, less than murder, of a woman he knew in Michigan. And
Was this at a show or is this at a?
no, this is like a private event. And in a psychological evaluation, he was judged as having average intelligence. They called him courteous, cooperative, candid. They said he didn't appear psychotic, and he was comfortable with his lifestyle. And they also said he was dependent on booze, and he had mixed personality disorder with narcissistic, borderline, and masochistic features. And so
mixed personality disorder. Now, is that?
I would say that's
something on the verge of bipolar disorder.
Yeah, I would say
disorder.
So. Yeah, and I would say you could be looking at some kind of spectrum-y stuff too. You know,
Sure. Yeah,
because
it's
again,
also arbitrary.
Yeah.
You know, he's fucked up.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Is he sick? Well, he is incest.
Yeah.
But you know, how do you? At what point is it that somebody is just so eccentric and off? You know, the thing that they say about like the Joker or even Charles Manson is that they're hyper sane.
Right.
And then you have to be insane to get along in a crazy world. And when you are sane, you see how crazy everything is, right?
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, he wasn't paranoid schizophrenic, it seems, right?
I think some people thought there was schizophrenia at play. I would say that might be the evaluation of his father as well, Merle Sr.
I guess there are degrees,
and that
right?
would also kind of go in line with, it erupting more in his 20s, because that's when that starts popping off.
But he never had any psychotic breaks. Other than eating shit on stage. He's psychotic broke.
It seemed, people that were close to him were just like, you gotta understand, like, there's just hanging with GG time.
That's what I'm getting at.
He would, it's like he would save up everything for the show.
Right.
So it's not like you're at his house and there's shit and barbed wire everywhere.
Right. So that's why I'm getting at him not being paranoid schizophrenic. In not being, truly psychotic, is that he turned it on and off. And even though when it's off, he's still drinking piss at a party or whatever. But
even that's kind of on. It's a fans party.
Right.
And then the drugs,
And drugs.
And I mean, really, like anything. Acid, coke, heroin. Like the day he died.
Hydroxychloroquine.
He started with coke, ended with heroin.
That's how
killed
it happens.
him. And like he would ask for acid on stage and stuff, And people would, by the way, like men and women would come on stage and blow him. That was going down.
Shit covered dick and all.
There was some, because that's the thing, is like you have to think about the audience too. It's almost more interesting to think about the audience than it is to think about GG.
Yeah.
Because there's this part of people
after a while.
Yeah, the cult members, not the cult leader, are the real interesting ones.
Like Michael Board, for instance, he would be one of the people that's just like, he's so into First Amendment type shit that he just defends that shit all day, and he wants more and more of it. And I think that's kind of the cult of GG, is people that are just like, I just want to see. It's a freak show.
A true freak show.
And
it's true.
It's outside of punk too. Like
no, it's beyond punk.
There's no bands touring with GG Allin and the Murder Junkies.
No, the music is a coincidence. It is a bohemian, shamanic experience.
Yeah.
It smells like shit and it's dangerous, but it's something to behold. And it is not, the fact that there is instruments and speakers is just, logistics.
It's basically an art project.
It's an art project.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, yeah. And that's, it shows in, the, him doing the spoken word stuff too, which could also be violent. So that's, imagine that. A microphone, GG, naked, no band, and still throwing chairs at people.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucking out of hand.
The Murder Junkies, was there any reason for that name other than the fact that he loved John Wayne Gacy and shit?
No, and he would do other backing bands. Basically it was like whoever would have them. So there's always a million.
Okay.
And, he called the country stuff he did Outlaw Scumfuck.
Instead of outlaw country, it's outlaw scumfuck.
Yeah.
Scumfuck is a genre of music.
Oh, is it?
No,
oh yeah, well it is now.
It is now. I just him and the Murder Junkies just makes a lot of sense because I also find I've always been weirded out by the obsession with murder stories.
Yeah.
And
listen, a lot of our audience is into that shit, and no judgment at all. So
no.
Some of my best friends are. I have my times where I can indulge it a lot, but most of the time I can't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it's so fucked up because I've always like been in relationships with girls that hated horror movies but love true crime, and I'm the polar opposite.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, show me Texas Chainsaw Massacre all day. I'm like, it's a movie. And then people will tell me some real shit where I'm like, don't ever tell me anything again.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
for me to get into anything like that, it has to be like truly creative.
like toy box shit.
Toy box
Either
is
bitch.
one, but even then, like after a while, I just kind of get burnt out. Like
Yeah,
that, I mean, like
It's exhausting, and I know.
and
people,
then it gets really real in your head, and you can the novelty and you fetishizing it kind of gets old and scary.
Yeah.
So like and
plus you start thinking that everybody's like that when it's .0000000.
Dude, it's not. It can be hardly said to exist at all.
Yeah.
Except for the people that it happened to, and that makes all the difference.
Of course.
There's a bunch of shit in Japan that happened like in the 80s and 90s, a bunch of weird fucked up crimes and like prolonged torture of like teenage girl type of stuff. And like, I don't want to say I'm into that, but the true eccentricity of it makes me want to tease it apart.
Of course, yeah.
But then I'm like, all right, I don't have to I don't need to think about anything like that for a few months until I get into the next one. I don't need to watch the first 48 every fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know people that would be doing it and then just have to quit like the murder podcasts like abruptly
Yeah.
because they were just like, I can't. you know?
It's like watching the fucking news.
Well, especially, and I think it was like also some of those people that did that. They were also like, I can't have Trump and murder.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I
sure,
mean?
Sure. In happier times, you can be like, what if things were terrible?
I wonder how murder podcasts are doing right now in the age of COVID and 24-hour doom scrolling.
It's a good question. I imagine the big ones are fine, but
I hope they're all doing well.
Yeah. I mean, good luck to everybody out
Good
there.
luck.
So this arrest for this thing with this woman,
God.
he denies the charges at first, right? And then, and he says she was into it. He admits to cutting her and burning her.
Is that a party?
And drinking her blood. But he was like, yeah, but she did all that to me too.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
And,
I mean, yeah, he's admitting. I mean, they're like, did you cut her? Did you burn her? And he's like, yeah, we were doing that. I
and
can see that.
yeah, and so then he points out that there's like the story doesn't really add up that she gave to the cops, and the judge rules in Gigi's favor.
And where Michigan?
In Michigan.
The beautiful state in what state is that? The land of 1,000 lakes? That's Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But he plea bargained to a lesser charge, felonious assault, and he got out on he was imprisoned from Christmas '89 to March 26, '91.
He pleaded guilty to bad vibes.
So I mean 2 years, right? Or a year and change.
Yeah.
He still spent a year.
Yeah.
And would you say his music suffered because of it?
I think he got more into.
His breath got better.
Yeah. God, can you imagine him in the showers?
Yeah, what was he? I want to know, what was he like in prison?
I know.
Model prisoner.
Well, everybody said, everybody like once he was in this, everybody's like, oh, he's really, really nice, and like even when they would
paper mache is amazing.
go back to like his teachers in the documentary and stuff like that, and they were like, oh yeah, he's like easy to get along with. And
Every
shit.
license plate he made was perfect.
So right after he gets out of prison, he skips parole. He goes on tour, and that's the stuff that Todd Phillips starts shooting for the documentary. And they have his hero probably, and our friend Dee Ramone joins the band. They go to a show, and they say to Dee like, "Why did you join?" He goes like,
That's a drummer?
Dee is the bass player.
Got it.
And he goes, I wanted to just have fun and not have any responsibilities in a band. He lasts a week.
Is that like 2
Because
shows?
they show up to his show, they unload, there's all these hookers on the street, and Gigi starts throwing bottles at them right away. And then Dee Dee's like, I'm fucking out of here. Like, it's just right out the gate. Can you imagine? What the fuck?
I can imagine after all of this.
And, fucking Dee Dee was probably like, doing junk or something like that. That's probably why it helped.
Yeah, Dee Dee thought like junk was bad. And meanwhile, this guy's throwing bottles at hookers. You're like,
I like junk. Gigi likes junk. We'll get along famously.
This would be perfect.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Steel Reserve.
So yeah, then he goes on, Geraldo, Jerry Springer, Jane Whitney show. Jane Whitney's the one, like the last one he does, where he's like talking more and more about like, I'm going to kill myself. I'm taking your kids with me. Your kids belong to me. He's saying all this shit to them. He's just really trying to freak out the squares at home.
He's John Wayne Gacy's rubbing off on him.
Yeah. He did have a daughter with a girl from Texas, and that girl was 17 when they met, and they went on the Jerry Springer show together.
Great.
And
so Jerry Springer, Todd Phillips, they all owe their careers to GG Allin.
Yeah, and John Wayne Gacy.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there, John.
He revealed on Geraldo that he believed his body to be a temple of rock and roll, and that his flesh, blood, and bodily fluids were communion.
Yeah, how, is that any different than real Christianity?
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, it makes perfect sense, especially after everything he's done. I'm sure the Geraldo audience was very understanding, though.
Yeah.
Geraldo himself, genius.
He was told, he kept saying he was getting called out for not committing suicide, but he was in jail. And there's one spoken word thing where somebody goes like, "Why don't you do it now?" And it's a woman. He goes, "Why don't you come up here and say it in my face, you?" And then he attacks her, and then a couple of guys come out of their chairs and beat the shit out of him. And then he goes back to doing the performance. He just goes back to talking. Nice. It's crazy.
It's really special.
It is really special.
Yeah,
it's really special. So yeah, he's at this his last show, June 27th, 93, at the place called the Gas Station, which is a punk venue that used to be a gas station, and
also like a take on the Gaslight District or something.
The what district?
Yeah, Gaslight District was where all the folk artists were in New York. So the gas station.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't think punks are that creative.
No,
That's
I think
true.
it was a gas station.
Just a gas station.
It was a gas station.
Yeah. Fumes.
Yeah, they're like, we can sniff it.
It's still here.
It's high octane rock and roll, man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Smoke a cigarette in the tank.
Don't.
So yeah, he has this like huge, basically like riot parade after the show gets cut after 2 fucking songs. And he goes to his friend Johnny Puke's apartment.
Johnny Puke?
Yeah, he's in the documentary too.
Middle name, drank too much piss, and then
he died of a heroin overdose.
At Johnny Puke's?
Johnny Puke.
Oh man, that's the second worst thing Johnny Puke has ever been associated
with. And so Todd Phillips is going to the funeral, right? And it's July 3rd, 93, and it's in Littleton, New Hampshire. And he had a song called When I Die, and it was instructions of what he wanted.
I mean, the grave's already dug.
Nice. And
your daddy was a smart man.
And he goes, so he's like, no makeup. His corpse,
it looks like shit.
His corpse is unpreserved.
Yeah.
No formaldehyde for GG, right?
Well, I mean, there's probably enough shit in his body to keep him nice for a couple of days.
I know, yeah. And he's got the black leather jacket on with the jock strap he would wear on stage.
If he wore anything at all.
Yeah, well, he would start with a jock strap, then he'd be naked, right? He was buried with a bottle of Jim Beam and
bad whiskey.
And Merle told the mortician, do not wash him and do not put on any makeup.
That's his religion.
And so then the family leaves, and then they're like doing like Weekend at Bernie style partying with the corpse. And
that's hardcore.
And they start, they're pouring Jim Beam in his mouth, and then a girl pisses in his mouth. And Todd Phillips is glad. He goes, I'm glad I didn't get it on film.
Different girl.
Yeah. They put a pair of headphones on him, and they put it into a cassette player, and they played him his own album. This is all happening with the corpse.
Yeah.
And
got a boner.
I did see a picture of him with a boner. And he looks like he's passed out. And there's a dude sucking his dick. Very funny stuff. And so then, his mother is still alive, right? And people,
I fled for this.
Yeah. And people, she was not a fan of this practice,
Weird.
Matt. People will go to the gravestone and like shit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of pictures.
Yeah, and it's just like cigarettes put out on it and like all this stuff. And his mom is going and visiting his grave, and there's like fresh dukes on the fucking.
You know, it's fucking gross, but like it's not like people shitting on Trump's Hollywood Walk of Fame star.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
It's loving.
Total love.
Yeah, and you see that when you go to the Ramones graves at the not shit, but there's like
beer bottles.
Yeah,
and
there's
shit.
some Steel Reserve cans or whatever.
Yeah.
All
John's.
Yeah.
Frequently vandalized. That'd be dope. I'm gonna head over to Didi's one now. His grave was frequently vandalized by urine, feces, cigarette butts, and alcohol by fans, an act that was greatly discouraged by Gigi's mother, Arletta.
I imagine. Gigi, I'm just here to just talk to you
Hank
about
Williams
the week.
III dedicated a song to him.
Was it the Monday Night Football theme?
It was.
Do you think his dad?
Isn't it the second that did it?
I think
it's the second.
Do you think his dad what happened to his dad? Do we know?
I don't know what happened to Merle Sr.
But
his mother died in 2019.
Jesus.
Good
time to get out.
And so there was a 2018 Showtime documentary. I haven't seen that.
No.
But it catches up with his mother and Merle and talking about, basically, I guess, what is that? Almost like 30 years after his death?
Yeah. Wait, so when he died, 85?
No, 93.
93.
Oh, sorry, 93.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and so there's this discography is always was, is, and always shall be. 1980, Eat My Fuck, 84. Never Tame Me, 85. You'll Give Love a Bad Name, 87. Freaks, Faggots, Drunks, and Junkies, 88. Suicide Sessions, 89. That's the tape that they played when they put on the headphones in his corpse. Murder Junkies, 91. And the last one was Brutality and Bloodshed for All, and that was 1993. And so, you go from the Don't Talk to Me that I played for you.
Yeah.
And then it's...
that was before the acid trip, though.
Then you have Kill Thy Father, Rape Thy Mother.
Typical hardcore Oedipal beatdown sound.
Yeah.
There's a great New Hampshire sound.
There is a song called Anal Cunt.
I was going to ask because there's a lot of cocksucking and heroin uses on stage with Seth.
Yes.
Of Anal Cunt. And that was somewhat contemporaneous around this mid-90s, early 90s. Anal Cunt.
Yeah.
Did they ever...
I never
cross paths.
I never heard about overlap there. The only things that were like, there's a band called the Lunatics that were around New York, and they seemed friendly with them, and also a band called Anti-Scene. They backed GG on a record, but other than that, there is no like friends in the like. Don't forget, like you still have like the high PC faction of hardcore punk that are going to be like, get the living fuck away from me.
Right.
They're not going to have that at all.
Imagine being straight edge.
The straight edge crew. I mean, if they saw, they would fucking beat his ass silly.
They'd have a conniption fit.
Did you say eat his ass? Yeah, they would eat his ass silly.
They'd feed right into it.
Yeah.
Were there any Nazis into his shit?
It seems like that.
It's much too filthy.
It was like the ideology was all like hate, but it doesn't seem like that would really work.
Right.
It was much more like just pure base anarchy.
Yeah.
Which is also what Anal Cunt was too. When Anal Cunt was doing it was just to piss people off.
Right.
GG was just like
even more raw.
Yeah. The only thing was, and from personal experience, of course, was the attacking the hypocrisy of Christianity.
It doesn't seem like GG was to piss people off. It was just kind of like if a guy just did just like the craziest thing he could do at any moment, that seems like that would be what he was doing.
Yeah, but people even like Michael Board or this fan that like set up like the birthday party for him and stuff. I always wonder, like, isn't there a part of them that's wondering, like, what if he just kills somebody finally?
I would imagine some people are hoping for that.
Yes.
I know, yeah. And then, people were saying, like, they wanted to be there when he killed himself. And they were like, Merle says, I think there's people that would kill themselves for him. It takes on a bit of a death cult thing.
Well, yeah, you've got this kind of like tuning fork thing where like
it's like a Russian roulette commitment.
The more extreme you are, the less people you appeal to, but the ones you do, the more diehard they are.
Yeah, they're tuning. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and it is tuning fork is absolutely perfect because there's no pitch. Right. The pitch is what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just watch it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, Forrest Gump running. Mm-hmm. You just get into it.
Oh,
you know,
one day I just kept running and shitting on the floor and eating it.
Yeah. What happens? Shit.
Sound like a retard. Get on a bench. That's Ross Perot from the Patreon.
Yeah.
It's not me.
It's not who I am. But yeah, I think, you know, the fans are the really more fascinating aspect of it, and like what draws them to it.
Equally is fascinating.
Yeah, but
we're not doing a show on them.
No, but it's still it's worth discussing because
totally
there is. I mean, think about just that overlap with that one guy that had also gone to see John Wayne Gacy. Yeah. So there is like that same like. I guess like a nihilistic,
and almost
misanthropic.
You know, villain worship instead of hero worship, like this kind of like,
or at least like
dark idolatry.
Yeah, if not villain, like not underdog, but like he's not like a villain, like bad guy. He's not like a banker.
But I just only say it because
I also do think he is a bad guy. I want to be really clear.
Well, no, absolutely, but not villain as in like a banker or like.
I only say it in terms of the opposite of hero worship.
Right, but he's kind of like a
heroes
goon.
Aren't heroes.
He's like class loser worship almost.
Well, I mean, John Wayne Gacy is a villain.
Oh no, I'm talking about GG. I'm sorry.
But I mean, they're of the same. Like, if you're fascinated in one and fascinated in the other,
fans will have a lot of overlap there,
right? And I think you know part of it, and this may be part of the Trump thing too, is people are so intrigued by their perceived freedom. Like, oh my God, I can, you know, wow, you really just put on clown makeup and fucked and killed those kids, huh? What was that like?
Yeah.
Wow.
You just really put on clown makeup and kill those kids, huh?
Yeah.
That's very funny. That's so stupid.
I think a lot of like...
Is that like the Barbara Walters interview? Man, you just put on that fucking clown makeup, huh? You fucking got a big old heart.
Now you put on
and
that
you fucking killed those fucking kids.
Wow.
Now?
What was that like?
You'll never find the rest.
Yeah, there's just I think that fascinating. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting, but like,
it's.
I think a lot of our fascination, our fetishization of
not giving a fuck.
Yeah,
that's what became fetishized, and there was like that thing I told you, like where they were saying that like the rise in anti-hero stuff like Breaking Bad and The Sopranos then leads to Trump. It's this thing about like this guy doesn't give a fuck, and we've made such a big deal out of not giving a fuck. We've fetishized it so much that we forgot how bad it sucks.
Well,
to not give a fuck. What everybody's is very cool.
What everybody's missing in all of those comparisons is that it's bad for the people that don't give a fuck. Yeah, it's bad for the characters in Mad Men. It's bad for the characters in Breaking Bad.
Yes.
It's bad for Tony Soprano.
Yes.
It's us going, I wish I didn't give a fuck. Look how much good is happening, and totally disregarding all of the bad stuff that is happening.
I totally, I get what is being said there. I don't buy it, that it leads to it. I don't believe
it's a symptom. It's not the cause.
You're right. I think it's a correlation.
No. I'm not blaming art for that.
No, I know you're not. But whoever wrote the fucking bullshit Vox article or whatever.
No. They were just saying that also it was a symptom. Yeah.
Right. There is this, you know, there is some overlap there in that Venn diagram, but I don't think that one leads to the other, but it is, you know, oh wow.
Well, there's the guys,
what an interesting you know.
It's the guys cheering for the Wolf of Wall Street and the people understanding it's a cautionary tale.
Exactly.
And
the real thing to take away from Breaking Bad and from Sopranos is, and even like Cersei in Game of Thrones, is like, even the fucking asshole loves their kids.
Yeah.
And will do anything for them. And
one time
all it takes is, you know, one bad day or one bad.
There's this guy at my work. He got fired for stealing. Fucking idiot. But he
don't steal.
He was talking to me one time about You realized I was into The Sopranos. He's like, oh, you like Sopranos? He goes, man, Tony, man, he's the boss, huh? And I was like, he's a sociopath.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trouble there.
Man, Scarface, ain't that the dream?
Right? Yeah. Like,
you know, he dies?
But yeah.
He's a cocaine problem.
I understand, you know, the people that are like also just like into the sheer total rebellion of it. Like just how
GG?
Of GG. And and it being this thing of like, you know, especially like Michael Board's thing with the fascination of, you know, just the First Amendment, and he always like would be trumpeting, you know, the biggest freaks. He had this great series of articles one time where he went on like a sex tour with this dominatrix woman that was also a columnist at the time at Maximum Rock and Roll, and he just wrote down all the shit they got into, and it was just so much fun to read. And
is it hot?
Yeah, and it's also frank and funny. Because then like he's like talking about like, oh, she's getting laid with all these guys and girls, and he just keeps fucking dudes, and he's bi, so he's like, I want some fucking pussy already. Like he's like bitching about it. But so I could understand how he was very into all of, you know, the shades of depravity in New York, and wanted to preserve them, and he saw them going away in the 90s. So that's when he even got louder about kind of like highlighting people like GG and stuff. He's the one that told the piss story about Homestead Records. And again, Homestead Records is a big label. Like fucking Sonic Youth were on Homestead Records.
Shit.
You know? And that was the thing, is that, you know.
And what happened after he pissed on him? You gotta raise.
Gotta rise.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I want to kind of keep going further down the rabbit hole a little bit on it. But that is the story of GG Allin.
It's pretty good stuff, John. You know, it's about, you know, we're starting to get into some of like the obvious, the big heavy hitters that we've kind of been putting off. Yeah. And it's good to see. You do it.
Yeah, and you know, people.
It's good to hear you do it.
Everybody that wrote in asking for GG Allin, that was for you, and. You know, Aaron Joseph Pita, he's a Pistol Pita on Instagram, Capital City Inc. for Matt Brousseau on Instagram. I am John Fahey, you know, on Instagram. And, you know, if you would like to hear us specifically each do a profile.
Fucking hit us up, DM us.
Message us.
Send news. Send news.
Yes.
Yeah, send a DM and
you know what you just reminded me of?
What?
When Todd Phillips asked John Wayne Gacy to do the poster, he goes, I'll do it for $50 and a compromising picture of yourself. And there was like a semi-nude photo of him on a roof that his friend took, and he sent that to John Wayne Gacy, Todd Phillips.
Good move.
To get the thing done, and it worked. Ain't that some shit?
He deserves all the praise and accolades and everything good that comes to Todd Phillips' way. He deserves.
I know, so crazy. I couldn't believe it was him. And then when I was like, I can't with this. I was like, John Wayne Gacy is the fucking producer of the goddamn movie. You know?
I mean,
what the fuck?
That's taking a shit on stage version of that.
And so Phillips, just really quick, just so I format. Phillips was working at a video store.
Kim's Video, greatest video store. I was there one time and I saw Casey Affleck.
It's in New York.
And he was taking a dump.
No. He was saying something was gay. He's like, oh, that's gay. I was like, okay, that's funny.
What was he saying?
He said that?
He was like,
he didn't go, man, that's wicked gay.
That's gay.
Wicked gay.
He was talking to his friend, like looking at the back of a video, and he was talking about something, and me and my friend Dan were there. Cruising around Manhattan.
Cruising?
That is gay.
Yeah. Well, my weakness is men.
Nice.
And
who's Peppa?
And Dan was just like, yeah, that's fucking Casey Affleck over there. I was like, oh, word. He's like, yeah, did you hear him calling that shit gay? I was like, no, that's funny though.
Maybe he was looking at like Brokeback Mountain or something.
No, that wasn't even out then, dude. This is a long ass time ago.
Damn. How'd you know who Casey Affleck was?
Yeah.
Because
I don't know.
Looks like Ben Affleck's brother.
His half a scene in fucking Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, he had some shit. But yeah, crazy that Todd Phillips worked there, because that was, you know, just like the really cool video store. You know, it was like one of the spots to hit in Manhattan when you went.
What part of I guess, Manhattan?
The Village.
Yeah.
The Village.
And so he was working there as a student at NYU?
Yeah, and Merle was really into bootlegging. So he would come in and they would just, you know, start chopping it up, whatever. Then he asked to get involved, and it was, I mean, it's a brilliant start, because it's taking the freak show to the masses.
And it's so it's like that. That's how you want that story to start. film student working at a video store, like that, the kind of Tarantino kind of vibe.
Yeah, goes to John Wayne Gacy for funding.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I hear from the guy's brother that this guy's a fucking maniac and he's lighting up the fucking tri-state area by shitting on stage and eating it.
Yeah, but Michael Board, Todd, all those guys would be very quick to say, not only that in certain moments, Gigi was very, coherent and polite, but also Merle was always. Yeah. Merle was always nice and calm, and
he just had his shaved head and giant sideburns and a Hitler mustache that extended below his mouth.
For a while, he had chops and the Hitler mustache, and that was really funny.
And his shaved head.
But I do recommend seeing the movie, especially just to see like the little things. I mean, fucking Joker was nominated for 11 Academy Awards or something. This guy starts with a guy sucking up shit on the floor.
The real Joker.
Yeah, I mean, really, no, it makes perfect sense.
Does,
in retrospect,
he only diluted
movie for him too.
Yeah, it's a perfect way. You take the real raw reality.
Yeah, and he narrates
that's how you
it.
start. Yeah, you could hear him in that clip.
Yeah,
and then you dilute it down enough, you'll win an Oscar.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, Frank the Tank is really just Gigi.
Yeah, fill it again. I think we should fuck off.
Sure.
I'm going to say goodnight. My name is John Fahey.
My name is Jesus Christ.
Peter.
Aaron.
Matt Brousseau.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Starburns Audio.